comment, like,
share, and subscribe.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Spicy, tasty vegan cuisine. Yeah.
Hi everyone. This is a very special program, and we have some incredible people that will be chanting in and giving you wonderful information. This is going to be about Attire. We call it the slow African killer. And first of all, I'd like to introduce to my immediate right is my wife, Mama Naasira. We'll give you a little background about her, and so you'll see why she is the person to be here to talk about health and nutrition. Mama Naasira and I, we are from the United States, and we've been in the Gambia for about 5 years. We've written 3 books on health and nutrition. One, which is an informative health guide for the melanated people of color, is #1 on Amazon. And the other is the general guide for the public. That's an informative guide to healthy living, and that's #1 in the UK. Now, Mama Naasira is a native of San Francisco. She's graduated from City College, San Francisco, with an Associate Arts degree from the Library Technical Department, and has a BA from the College of California. She's the mother of 3 incredible, healthy sons. Married over 40 years. She's a noted chef, a health advocate with an entrepreneur with over 40 years of experience, and that is in cooking and catering. She's been on a plant-based diet for over 45 years and a vegan for 17. And many consider her, including myself, the best vegan chef in the world. Mama Naasira.
Oh, that was lovely. I didn't expect that. Yes, I'm Mama Naasira. Living in the Gambia this month, 5 years. It's been an honor to have experienced so many things in 5 years, and we can say that we are still pursuing our dreams and making sure we're still remaining healthy and strong and helping people, as many as we can. My husband, Dr. Joe Bledsoe, has been very inspirational in allowing us to get out to the world and let people see that this is very important. I've known my husband over 20 years, and I met him in the library, and I think it was 1999, something of that nature. And he's also a musician, and his music was in our library. And we were happy to see him come one day and to bring music. I learned that he's also a graduate from San Jose State University, also law school. He's taught for 30 years, elementary school, junior high school, and just the multiverse, teaching music. He's the reason for us completing the 3 books, Spicy, Tasty Vegan, 1, 2, and 3, where we can have the book, to help people to see what we're about. So here we're in the Gambia, and we have lovely people here, and we're going to go on with the attire.
Sure. Yeah, Brother Kemet, man, you are remarkable. But can you give us, the background, the history of this attire, please?
Actually, the background of the attire, one can say 300 years ago, if you have to check the Gambia and the rest of West Africa, you have to separate it from North Africa. 300 years ago, we were not religious people here. Okay. We were native people.
Native, not religious.
not religious.
Oh, okay.
Native means it's full of aboriginals and people who live in the bush. They believe in their spiritual guardians. You know, they heard about Christianity and Islam, but they were living in their native lifestyle. So their culture was not to drink attire.
Okay.
They were doing so many different things, basically farming, agriculture, you know, surviving from the trees.
Yes.
So when you have the Arabs entering Africa,
Yes.
they have to find agents to work for them, the black agents. They indoctrinated them, they empower them, they give them so much to come and pass their ideologies, just like we see in Christianity, how Portuguese came into Africa and then enslaved and colonized and then, you know, converted a lot of Africans, in the case of Kunta Kinte, beating the Toby out and they injected Toby in it.
Exactly.
So if we have adopted foreign education, foreign ideologies, foreign religion and foreign customs and traditions. So,
And cultures.
and cultures as well. So our culture became meaningless because the education that we acquired from the slave master told us that our culture is bad. When you die, you go to hell. So we believe in that. So the fear is still plucked in our minds. Coming down to the attire is all part of the culture injection.
Yes.
So what happened is most of these masters are worshipped or are being praised to a higher king-like position. So the slave versus the slave master, the Uncle Tom to his boss. So the Uncle Tom or the slave, the black slave, will be there to do most of the service for him.
Yes.
So one of the main service is to serve the master, brew attire, green tea for the master, cook for the master, take care of certain things for the master. So, and as we all know, during that time, most of the blacks were castrated by their Arab masters. The reason why they have been castrated is the Arab master is always insecure or to be fear of the black slave to be in need of a woman before taking, his wife. Just like we heard in the story of Solomon in the Bible, as they say, the king's wife fell in love with Solomon and tried to accuse him. Was it in Solomon or is one prophet in Egypt? In Egypt there was a prophet called Joseph who was imprisoned by the king.
Yes.
Joseph was. He was
Yes.
accused,
Yes.
wrongfully accused.
That's right.
Something similar. That was really happening in the Arabic times a lot when they gained control of the African society. You understand? So the slave serving the master is all is what we see in the form of attire. You understand? So that's why today, in our time in the Gambia, if you go to any Mauritanian shop, just by the turntable here, you will see Mauritanian shops having their, staffs, black staffs working for them. They create employment, I understand, but there's always this guy brewing attire and serving it. So this has been there for a long time.
Okay, well, I'd like to point out that he's talking about Arabs, and we'd like to point out, just from a health point of view, there is a big difference between melanated people and Europeans. Now, the Arabs that we're talking about, a lot of them were people of mixed blood, which meant many of them that were in position to do these things, like have their eunuchs and take on the other women, what they did. Physically, they were a little different. And because we are so different, our biochemistry is different, they're able to eat some things and drink some things that won't have the same effect. I'll give you an example. Europeans, they have more sulfur in their melanated cells, which means with the sulfur, if they get wet, they give off a certain smell. They have more ammonia salt in their sulfur cells, which keeps them warm. That is why the Europeans are able to walk in short pants in the snow, or we have to be subjected to coal offices with Europeans because of the sulfur. So you put that together along with them having more parasites and worms required to metabolize their food. It's the same as taking in some of the things we're going to talk about in the attire, the most important. So it did not necessarily affect these Arabs as it had an effect on the Africans.
Yeah, and I also want to interject it too that it is unfortunate that we have been colonized for a very long time, and to be on a planet where we have everything, it's not easy when we have visitors to come, however form they come, and we helping them. In America, we helped, those people, and because that's what we do. A Palestinian said the reason why we got overtaken, by the Arabs, the Europeans, because as the prophets, the leaders, the gods of our time, they had to take in everybody. And so when you take in a culture or a people or something, then you become a part of it too. And it's generally down the genetics of life where we start to come back. And I'm really happy to know the history that you have given, because that gives me a little bit more of what I've studied and what I have internalized just by living.
And how things intertwine and how things connect. In Africa, literally, we welcome all kind of people.
That's right.
On this continent. I'm talking about the Africa 100,000 years ago, the Africa 50,000 years ago, the Africa that predates the Africa that we see today, the Africa that predates our grandparents. You understand? So, because like Malcolm X would put it, my grandfather was indoctrinated to believe what he believed. He passed that knowledge to my father, and passed that knowledge, and my father passed that knowledge on to me. So I can't blame them for where I am, but it's my responsibility to go back and unlearn and relearn. Because in the age of information, ignorance is no excuse.
No, it's not.
So we get back to what's in this attire, what are the things that are good about it, and what makes it a problem.
I said in Mandinka.
Yes,
Yes,
either way.
both. Yes.
Badi mal almemo jibe kanjam mama Naasira and Dr. Blejo ila korakono vegan olong ika ibuka subundo mo ibuka nyedomo ika yiri dengol la domo ika wala fana tabi ko se nyine je ko nyanya na follow to mol barakata e sembo soto anling ye jata kende ya fana soto ibalo fanke fanga jara ika domo fengo min domo bi Attaya la ko nata ka wala discourse katu ye nyine korosi sanji lulu be Gambia jang ya jele ko Attaya mo kulati mi yalo ko Gambia non ka amin bakel so kabrito ya nene inata ya jeko amanke kuti mi yalo ko Attaya mo kuti mi yalo amanke kuti mi yalo ko amambe ya bari mol ka min nyamin mol nyanta fana ka nyin kalam dal ko sukuru men ka dum Attaya ko anin ika ani ka min nyamin aka mune sabu ila bala jata kuran kono comme ngalo nyame diabetic de mol ben alfal kasara kan mo jamano bi fon ninke jamano je mi yaron ko I jato man ta ken yare diabetic be padat ke fende fo Attaya ite mira lumkelim ye sukur poti nani o sukur poti tan o sukur poti nul ya bang ka adomo tu ka min tu Attaya wi ko kono wo mu jelleti karo kono wo mu jelleti sama kono wo mu jelleti foyte ballo abe wol be bondino nama bondino ota aka kurango le wulu ibalo ko so nata ka wokule kacha ka monso hakilo isaje because kacha le ka kuja ma nati na mol hakilo salon fanga fangi ba minna ba do mola nyaadi you see so abole nyama domoro is good by domor nya akumaya tabake ni aje fondinken buka nasi maya ni futata Gambia no la lifespan 50 60 70 ikafale 50 mune wo sabu no domor fe mol fongi korose ku jama bije nte avoid nola bari fonga traki tala ko nga jibe be ko min lat nan ñaw ab mol ma ko la am gonna say it in wala mbokay ci katal li ma don wax ci kalame angale ak kalame sosé moy Gambia nek na deka bo xamanteni nan kat yi ataaya yi bëri nañ li ñuy naanee ataaya dafa bëri torop léegi ñii sumay xarit lañ suma yaay ak suma papa lañ Mama Naasira ak docteur Blake Joso ñëw nañ fii Gambia spend nañ fi almost juróomi at ñu ngi bàyyi xel di seet comme que ñoom fu ñu jógee di ñëw fii nit ñi lu ñoo lekkee di naane dafa utee ñun ni ñu ko fee dee defee waaye leneen lañ bàyyi xel suñu société bi mooy ne ni ñoo naanee ataaya dafa am doole torop waaye naan bi aayut waaye li sukkur bu dee dugg si ataaya bari na bari doole boo xamante ni xam nañ ne mu ngi ñoo jural feebar yu bëri parce que ni ñu ko xamee diabétique bi dafa am doole so suñu wér-gu-yaram dafa am maanaam torop pour ñu war koo bàyyi xel you know parce que yàlla ji nuñ ko dee woon ñoo du jógee si kaw ñëw wax la ne bàyyi xel lii ak lii waaye dafa la jox xel bi pour nga xalaat kon jox na la ji so loolu lañ doon wax ni naka la ñoo naanee ni ataaya bi fan la dooree ak fan la faaxee ko histoire yi ataaya si boppam naka la duggee ñun suñu société bi fii so si loolu lañ nekk di waxtaan nii ñu ne naa wax jërëjëf waxtaan la pour eera nit ñi pour nit ñi xam mun nga naan ataaya waaye ñu xam nuñ koo naanee baax na torop ñu sàmm suñu wér-gu-yaram sukkur bu faa dugg ak ban façon ngi ataaya la ñoo naan parce que am nañ suñu jiwu fii kinkiliba yaa ngi fii mbor yaa ngi fii you know naka la tuddi sa mama kunko yo yaa ngi fii yu bëri mu nga xam ne si suñ suuf sii lam dee jógee fii nii so lu tax mënuñoo use loolu noonu yëpp pour toogal ko suñu bopp comme mu nekk ataaya so tooga ataaya bi dem na ñu ne sukkur bi dañ ko war a bàyyi xel bu baax parce que nit ki boo demee ba am 50 fa nga war a doon di enjoy sa life waaye doo dunda ba 50 ay 60 ngay doon di am problème kon sa dunda bi amul njëriñ so moo tax si gàttal ñu ñëw fii nii di ko waxtaane jërëjëf.
That's beautiful. Now you said tarap. What is that? I forgot.
Tarap means a lot.
A lot? Yes.
Tarap,
In the kitchen that's used quite a bit with the food. Yeah. I'm learning a little.
Neex na torop. Neex na torop means it's way too nice.
Way too much.
It's way too nice.
We
Too
certainly-
nice.
we
Means
certainly
stupid.
appreciate the good brother just being able to translate
Yeah, it's a
and get it
blessing.
out to more people. Now, Mama Naasira and I have been here a while, trying to pick up here and there, and I've just come to the conclusion. If there's over 3,000 languages in the continent of what some call Africa, we know it is.
A Kabbalah.
A Kabbalah. I
Kabbalah.
think telepathy is the best way to go. Now, the brothers summarized what it was, but the main culprit we're talking about is the white sugar.
To many Gambians, as Attire cup, the green tea, the fourth serving comes with a full servings of sugar to this amount here, to this level, and the second serving comes to this amount of measurement, or a little bit up, you know. And the third as well comes in the same. Morning Attire servings done.
The white sugar. Now, there is a hand clapping between what we have in some of the Western countries with coffee and with Attire with the white sugar. And that is, an addiction will jump forward to you. You can see it right in the face if you stop it and you have a physical effect. And both, whether it's the coffee with the caffeine, it's the sugar, when they stop drinking this Attire, if they're a regular Attire drinker, they will get a headache. Now, most of us know up front about the things about white sugar, about how it is not good for the organs in your body, how it affects your brain, how it affects your pineal gland in a very not so good way. And also for the men, since it affects the flow of your blood, your arteries, you're talking about your manhood. And with that in mind, that creates other problems. So the main problem is the sugar. The other things we'll bring about is what kind of herbs do they use? And are there alternatives to that? So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how the Attire is made. And we want you to focus attention on the amount of sugar that is put in. Mom?
Yes, and also, I want to also introduce Lyman. who has been here, almost a year we've been here in the complex. He's the one that takes care of the whole area here. This is more than one compound that you supervise. And so we're really grateful because I've seen you do the whole work with the attire. And I'm like, wow, you know, it looks like the real black Arab in here. So, hey, so I just kind of think that it's really good for you, you know, if you want to give us a little bit of, you know, your experience with the attire. I know, yeah, so give us a little something.
You can help us out.
Yeah, help us out
So
interpret.
we want to ask, how long have you been on Attire? Do you
Yeah.
drink it often? How long does it take to make it? And how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I have talked to her.
Yeah.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Man Lamin maa ñëw di wax programme bi neex na trop. Dafa mel ni mayante xel. Ku la may xel kooku yàlla moo ko fay. Loolu moo ñu toogaloo fii. So man mun naa ne que am naa 40 years. waaw bu ma commencé naan Attaya maybe 5 years laa commencé naan Attaya. But Attaya programme yi dañu bëri foofu si suma gis-gis laa wax am na ñu wax ne Attaya mbooloo la daf dee neexaay mbooloo comme ñu toogee nii.
Yeah, what is he doing?
Understand?
Yeah.
Mun naa
Yeah.
ko translate.
Yeah, you can translate it.
He translates himself.
Yeah. Dafa dee neexal mbooloo so comme ñu toogee nii teg banaata waxtaan bi neex kii wax loolu tam daf dee neexal si Attaya. Ok leneen tam comme li nga wax lu nekk dafa am limite fi naan ndox nga lekk ba pare nga naan ndox dafa am limite soo ko ëppalee rek dafa la sonn. Attaya tam di same thing. Attaya ñu ko nee naanee nit yi bëri dafa am différent comme man mu dee naane Attaya ak Ismaël mu dee naane Attaya
Yes.
ak kii mu dee naane Attaya dafa nekk différent.
Yeah.
Nekkul benn.
Very interesting part.
You understand?
Yeah, he said
Yes,
the
yes.
attire has
Okay.
been something like he has been drinking attire for almost close to 40 years.
Wow. And you still have your teeth.
You know, but he said in our Gambian community, you realize that the boys or the men or the elderly would see it as it's something that spices up a gathering. So what the very most important point that he touched here is the way he drinks Attaya and the way Ismail drinks Attaya and the way Mama Naasira and Dr. Joe will be drinking Attaya is different.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that difference, I think, is what we are still trying to talk about, the awareness. You know, how do people survive close to many years without having problems with Attaya?
comme la maanaam soo nekkee comme fii si capital man du ma dee toog si Attaya xam nga lu nekk xel la leneen nekkul ne docteur mu la wax ne defal xel moo la may ñu ne mootul feebar yeneen feebar man daal yàgg naa naan Attaya wan nag musuma gis nit ku am ne Attaya ko feebar wala man dama yàgg naan Attaya musuma am feebar nag parce que dama dee bàyyi suma xel.
Kapten Ndao daay da ngay liggéey tamit.
exact dama dee liggéey.
da ngay ñaxal lu
dama dee ñax.
so dafa mel ni lu bëri da nga
yaa ngi gis ba pare lu ma toogal suma Attaya tam comme maanaam suma Attaya léegi-léegi man kenn la léegi-léegi mu ñaan xam nga loolu yëpp xel moo ko réduire.
te yaa ko dee toogal sa bopp.
moom ma dee toogal suma su ma tegee si plateau bi nii day mu baax ndox bi baax ma sotti Attaya su ma sottee Attaya ndox boobu noonu ko dee tuur pour ma wàññi boobu.
mun naa wax loolu si kanam après.
exact.
What he is saying is the way he brew his Attaya is totally different. What he does is he will brew water first, and the water will be boiling to a very high degree, and then pour the attire in it, and you will have to pour that water down to reduce
To
the
reduce the amount
strength
of water.
of the attire,
Okay.
and then carry on. But also, I've noticed he also walks a lot. So he sweats a lot. He do a lot of
Yes.
physical job activities.
Yes.
So at least he's kind of taking out most of
The inflammation,
Yeah.
the sugar.
the side effects of attire.
Yes.
Okay, now we also have Brother Ismail here, and we'd like to ask him the same questions. How long have you been drinking at Attire? And how does it make you feel?
Yeah, man. Today, you start, let me have my what's the other.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
But hey, nowadays now Attire sometimes you have class. You die, you get it, you know, small side, but nothing more can the one have, you know, be, kasi the man take out the one of them small side boy, you take out for
No.
half cast.
They made it.
Yung time they may be super bad, you go nani. Then you have bubble.
Yes.
With the 5
I believe you understand what he's trying to say.
Yes.
Do one of my system.
Maybe.
So nano best.
But we made it.
Mamuna nakala kasi. So my wife said I'm there. Small hold with the high tanga because of Attire.
Please tell.
Yeah. So it's like
Some people, when they don't drink Attire,
Even gyms at Damade them gym regular Damade them down every Sunday.
He's talking about the effects of what he's
Attire,
saying.
yeah.
Please,
From his
explain.
own experience of attire, he drinks attire, but he only consumes half a glass. That's what he's saying. He said, but now he consumes that half a glass simply when the workers are at the house working. They share that among themselves. He said, but it reaches to a point now that if he doesn't drink it for the whole day, he will start to have some headaches, feeling heavy
Pain.
headaches and all those stuff. And it can also depress him
Oh, yes.
and
Yes.
stress him up. If he doesn't drink attire for the whole day, he can be in a stressful mood,
Yeah. Wow.
mood swing. So he must get that attire for his mood to change at some point. So it means he's been addicted now.
Yes.
Yes.
to it.
Coffee drinkers, does this sound familiar? Okay, now, part of what we here is to give you some healthy alternatives. Number one, let's start with the white sugar itself. What alternatives can we have for white sugar? Number one, here in the Gambia, they have local honey, and the local honey is good. Mama Naasira and I, we had challenges living in the States because our air is not all that clean. With what we have, the skies are not always as bright as they should be. We have some planes that are dropping the geoengineering, as we call it. So we have things coming down from the sky on us. And if you're a bee, the bees are not as healthy as they can be. So Mama and I did not want to consume honey from unhealthy bees. Now, the Gambia, you don't have that problem. You have wonderful honey. Of course, you can have a challenge with some people putting white sugar in it to try to increase the quantity so they could sell more. But that's something, if you're good with observation, you can tell. The second thing I wanted to point out is the never die, or the moringa seed. Yeah, you take a seed, and we'll show you the seed. Look at the seed, a picture of it. And we'll open it up, take one seed out, and just chew on that seed. Then drink your attire without the white sugar. It's going to be sweet and effervescent. The third thing we've noticed is that you can use what is called
Tandamare.
Tendometer. We're talking about dates.
Dates, yeah, tandam.
And you can use different types of dates. You can't even make a date sugar.
Popularly in Ramadan.
In Ramadan?
In Ramadan, they use it to break their fast.
Yes, in Ramadan they use it to break their fast.
Tamale.
Yes,
Tamale.
Yeah.
tamale. So you can take it, you can cut it up real small, as they say, small. You can put some water in it, just a little amount, and put some heat in it. Smash it, and voila, you have tandarin syrup,
Syrup.
or date syrup. Okay, the other we use, which may not be so common, is the tandaris, the seed, the tamarind, what do you call it, tamarind? Yeah, the tamarind seed.
It's a sugar too.
Here you can take the tamarind, and it's a large seed, remove the seed, but take the pulp inside of it. You can dry it out, and then chop it up small. Do the same thing that you would do with the date, and bam, you have another type of syrup that you can use as a healthy alternative to the white sugar. Now, one of the other things that I found is that the Gambia has been blessed with the best soil in the world. Can I say it again? They've been blessed with the best soil in the world. So that means here in the Gambia, they grow the best fruits, they grow the best vegetables, but they also grow the best teas. What are some of the teas that grow here?
King Calabar, Borum, Moringa, Neem, soursop. I mean, all of these things. Mint.
Mango. I mean, you have the best tea in the world.
Nana, yeah.
The list goes on. The list goes on. So I found it very puzzling that a lot of the stores here sell some tea in a little package, and the bottom says made from China?
Yeah, made from China.
Now, I'm not sure. It could be, this tea comes from the Gambia, and maybe they manufacture it there. I don't know. That might be one stop or thinking. But to me, we have it all here local, natural, and easily accessible, and we know what we are getting. Because everyone don't love us. And it's best to work with people you know and people you can trust. So there you go. You've got the history of Attire. You've got some of the effects, good, many not so good. You've got the truth. And so all we can do is just wish you a happy, healthy, wealthy life.
And this is Spicy Tasty Vegan Cuisine. Yes, this is Mama Naasira, Spicy Tasty Vegan again. I want to introduce Lennox, wonderful, strong He-Man in our household. I shouldn't say it like that, I'm sorry. But he can do so many multiple things, make bread, help with the chefs, with the food. And this has been really wonderful, helping Sheba and helping us so we can rest a little bit more. But anyway, he has some knowledge about his background and his experience with Attire here in the Gambia.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. I've been studying health and nutrition. I'm a student. Basically, I'm a student of life, and I studied the human body as much as I can to understand what works for us and what doesn't work for us. And one thing that I came to understand, it's also in your books. Since white sugar is the main ingredient to this attire today, to digest sugar, the body needs calcium. And since it doesn't come naturally with the sugar, it will take away calcium from your bones and your teeth. And that's why the main reason I see in the Gambia people have a lot of osteoporosis. I see a lot of crippled people over here. where their hands and feet are bent and all types of all angles, okay? And one of the main things that I think that can help first is to heal the mind, of course, because the mind controls the whole body and your habits and everything else. And if you drink Attire with a lot of sugar and you have problems with sugar levels, diabetes, high blood pressure, I know 3 plants that are natural healing plants. It's everywhere in the Gambia. It's even more you can find more in the whole continent, but one of them is papaya leaf. Well, we happen to sit next to a papaya plant right here. The papaya leaf, it has many healing properties, health benefits. This is also for the soursop leaf, very powerful. And one you definitely can find in the Gambia is mango, mango leaves. Okay, now the mango, the fruits itself, incredible. I recommend to eat them whenever you see them. Okay, but the leaves, they help with blood sugar levels. They help cleanse the liver, kidney, pancreas. It helps you to your joints.
Inflammation.
It is very inflammatory. So inflammatory, it even can cure cancer. Uh-oh.
Oops, I don't think we can use that word. I think the pharmaceuticals may have purchased that. But what we can say, it will certainly aid in helping to rid yourself of these type of problems.
And so, since we live in a country with abundance of these trees, I suggest you take some leaves, boil them for a few minutes, drink them every now and then, and save the bills for the, big pharma.
Okay, well, I just want to...
Bitter cola.
Bitter cola.
Bitter cola.
That's really good too.
So what I'd like to do is just thank all of you for taking the time to look at this video. And we ask you, please share it. This information needs to go out because you're not only going to be helping yourself and your immediate family, but also your community, the country, and ultimately the world, because we are all connected. So on behalf of us here, and we're representatives of many others, we want to thank you, and we look forward to you seeing our next video. Thank you.
Spicy Tasty Cuisine. Share, comment, and like so that you can save the health of the world. The life you may be saving may be your own.
Ashe.
Always keep tuning into that Spicy Tasty Vegan.
Yes.
Your health is your
It's
wealth.
your wealth. Thank you.
Right here.
Thank you for
And when you
everybody.
eat better, you're going to think better.
Exactly.
Yeah. Eat better and think better.
Yeah.
Do better,
And
live
the
better.
food is your medicine.
Yeah.
Food is your medicine.
Medicine.
Spicy Tasty Vegan represent food is your medicine. Thank
Tap.
you. Yeah. Hey.
Hotel.
Comment, like,
Share and subscribe.
follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Spicy Tasty Vegan Cuisine.